Hey, what is going on, everybody? And thank you for falling into the vortex yet again. Today, we're doing something a little bit out of the norm. I picked up here an indie type of game. It's pretty low budget, but it is an MMORPG, which I am a huge fan of. I do most of my gaming on PC, so this is something that's kind of obviously in that field. So let us continue, because life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Yeah. Woohoo!
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. The danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales, woo! Not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales, woo!
But not really, guys. We're playing World of Warcraft.
Oh gosh, let me just log in here. I have never ever heard of this game before, guys, and I really think I'm the first one to ever honestly load this game up. So let's, just kind of log in here and see what we can do. Now, as you can tell, obviously, we all know it's freaking World of Warcraft. We all know what this is. I'm gonna go over here and go about my biz. So pretty much what I'm going to be showing you guys is Unholy Dk. I main an Unholy Dk. I've hit about 1900 rating while playing Unholy Dk. I have yet to hit the 2K or the Gladiator status, guys. I apologize, but that's just the name of the game. Unholy DK hasn't always been the best twos team or comp to be playing with, so it's kind of hard to really build up the ladder until you find a good team. But I have been hitting 1800 significantly throughout this patch, and within 7.2, I believe Unholy DKs are going to be. Hold on one second. The gosh darn best class that you can play as. Melee class, I should say. And it's barely a freaking melee class, right? It's more of a pet cleave range class sometimes. Anyway, so this is it. Obviously, I'm going to show you my artifact. Honestly, all of these abilities are kind of just to your own opinion. You can kind of approach them any way that you want to, but I am going to show you some talents that are kind of recommended to go towards first before, finishing the rest of your talent tree, because you might as well get some of them before the others. One of them that I would definitely recommend is Scourge of the Worlds. Now, what this does is causes your death coil to increase your clawing shadow damage by 30% for 6 seconds. And there is a talent that works really well in unison with this ability. So if you get it off the bat, it's nice to have that buff already. Another one is probably going to be Double Doom. The Shambler is probably the least important to get. Obviously, unless you're trying to get the fourth one where you have to have all of the abilities anyway. That's why I'm saying it doesn't really matter which way you go, because you have to get the objective anyways, right? But there are other talents, since it does take a while to complete all of your artifacts, and it is going to, I think, kind of blossom later on. So might as well start it now and finish it now. The second one that you should probably go towards either first or second is going to be Double Doom. Now your sudden doom can now accumulate 2 charges and will occur 15% more frequently. Now if you guys don't know what Doom does, your auto attacks have a chance to make your next death coil cost no runic power. This is huge, and I'll probably go over it later on within this video, so just wait and see. Obviously, as you know, if you ever played an Unholy Dk, their runes have been watered down a little bit. Now it is just one base rune that we all utilize and use, which is kind of nice because it allows a little more variety, I guess. Question mark. I mean, not really, guys. But I do enjoy it. I don't mind it. I do. I was kind of on the edge when it first came out, but I'm not anymore. So what you obviously want to do is get your festering wounds up, get an outbreak out. You can probably start with the outbreak first, but I didn't. Get a soul reaper up if you want to start out with the haste increase. I don't know why my pet's not out. That's bad. So the pet's not out, which is not good to start out with. So let's get the pet on him. Get another festering wound. You can have up to 4 festering wounds. Festering wounds pop. So once I use my apocalypse here, he'll use 6 here, but in PvP it is 4. So we'll have all these guys. Here, we'll even bring out my other minions. Here we go. Why not? So here we go. We have all of our damage rolling right now, and you can see it's a lot of numbers. And I do have ranged abilities going on. So 320 carrots, which is nice. I'm gonna get all bam, bam, biggity bam. Kind of just give you guys what is going on. Oh, I kind of had a little bit of downtime there, which is not good. You pretty much don't want to have any downtime in this game, you know. When you don't have momentum, make sure your pet definitely does have momentum, so you can at least accumulate some damage while you're out. Anyways, this is kind of what I do. Is just push buttons. I put my face on the keyboard and just roll it around. Kind of, sort of, not really. With the upcoming 7.2 patch 7.2, there are going to be a lot of updates, guys. A lot of updates, and it feels more veered for the PvPer in me, right? We have the brawls coming out, and we have artifact abilities coming out, which is kind of for both PvEers and PvPers, but it helps PvPers more. So that's always nice. So first off, let us talk about the talent revolved in Unholy Dk. Right, and as of right now, I'm below 1800, guys, so I did lie. I am currently 1738 as of right now, but I mean, I haven't won any games this week. I've been kind of on a hiatus throughout this patch, and within 7.2, I do plan to actually get back into it competitively, since they are changing things revolved around it. I didn't even tell you what they're changing for the DKs yet, did I? What the frick? Death Coil's damage is going to be increased by 400%. Instead of 150%, I believe it was, or 200%. It's going to be a pretty large increase. Festering wounds, when you apply them, you have a chance to proc between 2 and 4. Now it is just going to be you automatically proc 4, right? So you'll be able to get your haste increase from your soul reapers real quick. You'll be able to apply another festering wound and then kill your apocalypse right after that. And then if you want to bring your rune blade up again, you can, and then just kind of go with that, right? So let's go into our talents. Anyways, I have All Will Serve, and this one's kind of up in the air. Not really, actually, I lied. All Will Serve is the best for 2s. Ebon Fever is good for 3s, BGs. It's really dominant. Bursting Swords is also kind of good for 3s and 2s, and it's overall just the medium talent to choose in the first tier. his numbers are decent, and it is a ranged pet. So that's always good, especially for the other things that I have applied to this class. In the second tier, I have Blighted Rune Weapon, which allows for a lot, or not a lot, but a decent amount of uptime. So you'll be able to, your next 5 auto attacks infect your target with 2 festering wounds. So you'll be able to get 10 festering wounds probably within 10 to 15 seconds, right? And if you're ever down, you need necrotics up. Your priest or the healer is applying bubbles, and you want to get the bubbles down, or your warlock is draining life against you, and you want to put a necrotic up so the heals don't apply to him. That's always good to do too. So you have so many options with Blooded Rune Weapon. Your Soul Reapers are popping up, or I'm sorry, not Soul Reapers, but your Clawing Shadow damage is going off, and other things that are able to pop off of your festivals. Third one, I have Clawing Shadows as of now. I believe Clawing Shadows is also getting a damage increase, but I've been using it for a while. It allows a huge gap closer against mages that root you often, rogues that are going to be slowing you, hunters that are going to be slowing you, anything that pretty much slows you and is able to create a range. This breaks that. Right, and if it's going to be doing more damage, I don't see why I would go anything else. Asphyxiate is pretty much the go-to talent that you need. Outbreak reduces the movement speed of all affected enemies by 50% for 3 seconds, debilitating. Wow, infestation. A slow over a stun and or it's not silence anymore. Sorry. Asphyxiate, if you're not familiar with it, lifts the enemy target off the ground, crushing their throat with dark energy and stunning them for 5 seconds. So it's a pretty good stun. And the Raised Dead now summons an abomination instead of a ghoul with improved innate abilities. And the damage doesn't really increase with the Sludge Belcher, and having the extra hook just doesn't seem as beneficial as Asphyxiate would be. I mean, you could have an Interrupt, which is okay, you're right, but Asphyxiate is just better. This one's pretty much up in the air as well, really dependent on the comps that you're going against. So if you're going against a melee heavy class, you're obviously going to be going Corpse Shield. I didn't even say this about All Will Serve. The main reason I have All Will Serve is because it gets rid of the cooldown for your pet instantly. And so instead of having this 1 minute cooldown, you're now able to have the pet whenever they do attack it. Corpse Shield, which is good for Corpse Shield as well, so you can instantly get another pet off and then have Corpse Shield activated so you can have that defensive cooldown if need be. But Lingering Apparition and Soul Eater are both pretty good. It just depends. Spell Eaters increases your anti-magic shield by 20% and lasts 5% longer, so you have this, if a warlock's casting a fear or something, or a mage is about to cast Deep Freeze and Roots and all that jazz, you're able to keep out of it for a while. What else? Nothing about this class. The next tier that we're going to be able to see here that I have selected is Necrosis. Dealing damage with Death Coil causes your next Clawing Shadows to deal 40% increased damage. So I'm able to have a ranged ability, Death Coil, 30-yard range, which is huge, and it's going to be doing more damage. So Necrosis is going to be working pretty well with that ranged aspect of having your pets there and still applying pretty freaking hardcore damage and having great defensive cooldowns, which is why I think it's going to be great in 2s and 3s. And BGs. It's just a great overall PvP spec to play as. Soul Reaper is my final talent, and I'm going to have to say that this one is also up in the air. Because the haste increase isn't really that nice. I mean, 21% haste for 15 seconds is huge, and it does a huge amount of damage as well, instantly. But there are Dark Arbiter, Arbiter. Any biter. Arbiter. Dark Arbiter. I'm done. I'm done! Summons the Valkyrie to attack the target for 15 seconds. The Valkyrie will gain 1% increased damage for every 1 runic power you spend. So if you have a lot of runic power to be draining with death coils, you know, you could have the Dark. That might be the way to go. Because if I have a lot of range, the Dark Arbiter comes up. I don't need the range per se, but it is nice to have the range with Clawing Shadows. And I have a full runic power bar and spend my death coils and allow it to increase its damage by that X amount. That's nuts. I might have to go Soul Reaper, especially if I'm going to be playing LOS heavy and pet reliant damage. That might have to be that way. That is the talents though, guys, and I hope it does help you. If it doesn't, then please let me know, and I'll hopefully learn from this video, and I will continue to progress in my explanation of the things that I do. But we're not done there, ladies and frickin' gentlemen, because there are probably more gentlemen than there are ladies watching this video. But that's fine. That's fine. We are gonna also do honor talents. Now, honor talents can also be, you know, situational, which is what I really like about the current talent system that they have going on. It seems to be kind of situational in some aspects. A lot of classes seem to be able to change their talents dependent on the comps that they are currently playing against. So I like it. I like that. Obviously, I'm going Gladiator's Medallion. The other ones just, I don't like things that are random. I am not a fan of RNG. So things that I can control are going to be abilities that I usually go with, unless it's a passive or something. At that point, I don't know. I like Gladiator's Medallion. It has worked well with me. I'm not a class that utilizes other trinket abilities like that, like a human or a freaking undead. So I am going Gladiator's Medallion. Reinforced armor, health increased by 10%. This is just an overall good thing to have. Hardiness is good if you're just a level 5 or whatever, level 3, whatever it is. But it's reinforced armor is usually the way to go. But, you know, obviously if you're going against a melee comp, melee healer, sparring would be the way to go. Dark Sim and AMZ are pretty freaking tough to choose between, unless you're playing 2s and then a 3s. Dark Sim, I believe, is a stronger 2 spec to go than AMZ. Let's say a mage is casting a polymorph. You're able to grab that polymorph, instantly cast it, and be moving while casting it as well. So you're able to lock out the priest, or you're able to lock out the mage, if need be, whatever it may be. If you need a heal, there are some abilities that you are unable to mimic, though. Yeah, so whenever the next enemy spends mana on a spell, it's not any ability, it's just mana dwelling spell. But Dark Sim is beautiful, guys. I have pulled off some very clutch moments within PvP using Dark Sim, so I would suggest using Dark Sim. To the 4th tier, these are all really good. Honestly, these are all really, really good talents to choose from, and so it's kind of hard to choose. Decomposing Aura. All enemies within 10 yards slowly decay, losing 3% of their max health every 2 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times, lasts for 6 seconds. So it's just a constant, pretty heavy dot that ticks every 2 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. And that's good. If you're going dot cleave, then baby, do use the Decomposing Aura. Heartstop Aura is also freaking beautiful. Decreases the cooldown recovery rate of abilities by 20% to all enemies within 8 yards. So let's say a paladin is using Hammer of Justice in the and the talent that allows every time he spends holy power or something like that, it reduces the cooldown of his stun. So this will stop that effect. And a lot of paladins I see usually do go that, at least within the 1800 field. And I am going currently Necrotic Aura. All enemies within 12 yards take 8% increased magical damage. The comp I'm currently rolling with is magic heavy, so I'm running Necrotic Aura so him and myself can get a huge buff, and his pets and my pets. So, as for the second to last tier, these are also, I would say go Wandering Plague, but I've also rolled around with Crypt Fever a few times. It's just, if you're able to spread your Festering Wounds, that might help. But every time it's healed, I think there is a diminishing return on Crypt Fever though. Wandering Plague is the one I am going. Outbreak also infects the target with Wandering Plague, causing 76k shadow damage over 8 seconds. When Wandering Plague's duration ends or is dispelled, it jumps to a nearby enemy within 30 yards affected by one of your diseases. Lasts for 3 jumps. You can only have one Wandering Plague active at one time. Yeah, this is good. Does a lot of consistent damage, which I don't have a lot of. Honestly, I have Outbreak, and that's a decent dot, and my 2 pets as well. So I do have some damage going off, but I want to be able to have more dots. So in those times that I need to play defensive, I still have a consistent amount of good damage going off. And if it is dispelled, it'll go on to the healer next to him, hopefully. And Necrotic Strike is pretty much the only option. If you're going against the healer comp, and any comp that has a heal, this is nice, because if you're able to time it when a hunter is using his exhilaration or something like that, you're able to reduce the healing that he will receive, and you should just go this. And if you're able to proc it with your Blighted Rune weapon, you also are able to stack necrotics. You can't really stack them per se, but you're able to apply them, because it's, what is it, absorbing the next 160k healing received by the target. So it's a decent amount of heals. Not a lot of heals, but a decent amount of heals. I've seen people go the slow, I've seen people go reanimation, and I would say Necrotic Strike is by far the most beneficial talent that you can go with. Definitely.
If you guys can do me a huge favor and leave a like down below, or sub, or dislike the video even, or comment, leave me something so I know how you guys feel about the video. If you liked it, tell me why you liked it, or what I can keep doing to make sure that the content that I bring to you guys is good. Let me look at the camera here. And then also tell me what I'm doing wrong, like what you guys would want to see improvements on, because the Vortex will not grow stronger without the people involved in it. So please talk amongst yourself, talk to me, ask me questions. I'm free to answer them. So thank you guys.
Extraordinary.